Hi, for today's teardown, the Collins 51R-6 VOR LOC receiver. So yes, one more piece of Collins Avionics. Always the same design, the red stripe on the front, the handle, eventually some feature on the front as a test button here, the manufacturer label here at the bottom with also the modification label, so you can see weight 15 lib, serial number 2584, receiver VOR LOC, and got actually quite a few modifications as you can see here. So the case is always the same aluminium cover with holes for cooling, and we have at the back always the same multi-pin connectors with this time the protective covers over them, which is always nice to have. Okay, and this is not usual, we have screws at the front to secure the case, so they require removal. And you will see we have in this one a very old school electronics without circuit board. These screws have already a positive securing of them and they are not going anywhere. Okay, it will go up like this, SOV for the stripe of sun, and here is what we have inside. Actually one empty spot here, but it is apparently normal because I did see other devices of the same model for sale on eBay. One of them was opened, or two of them even, and each time this module was not fitted. So it is for an option or something like this. Quite interesting, but the other one is fitted and can actually be removed by undoing on the front two screws, I believe, 2 or 3 screws. So for field replacement or upgrades or something like this. Interesting. Yes, 2 screws here and 2 screws here at the back. That will release the wall connecting block here. You can see they are even spring loaded, quite nice, and it will allow to swing it out of the way and remove the module thanks to this other multi-pin connector. Okay, now time for the overhead camera and have a better look at all this. But first I will quickly undo the 2 other modules because actually everything is here is modular. It will allow to have a better view at everything. So, first a look at the main chassis assembly. On this side not much, except a bunch of Teflon standoffs. So this device is apparently some kind of super precision, complicated radio receiver. I will link in the video description any information I find about the VOR LOC system. We have here at the back the body of the main connector with just a little assembly holding what is apparently a socketed op-amp. It is written U1, so it is not a transistor, and it has 8 or 9 legs. RCA CA1417 it is written. That code probably 74. I will see if I find any other dead codes. Connector to the module I did remove. You can see this connector piece for the optional module is mostly unpopulated. On the front, nothing. If I turn it around, we have a lot more stuff here. Actually, you can see what is apparently probably a relay, yes, by General Electric relay, 2 amps here, of course, and the whole armada of out of focus capacitors. A lot of them, so must be power supply related. Some passive parts here. The other side of the connector here with a connector to the other module, and here on this part actually what seems to be a black module, some filter device written, you will see it, max altitude on it here, max altitude of 55,000 feet. 8 contacts or something, or 10 contacts on it, so maybe some kind of transformer. On the other side of this assembly we have a bunch of excuse me for the terrible focus again, it was working previously and now it is doing stupid things. Some transistors, a trimmer, and the big threaded rods that will allow to secure this module in the chassis. Is it better? Okay, so we can go to the next part. So the top module with settings for localizer and VOR, and it is actually called the Manual VOR LOC Localizer Instrumentation Unit. Interesting. We have here a big shielded assembly, band pass filter, okay, quite a huge unit, one more here of them, some damage actually because of the case was damaged and it is a little bit burnt in here. And on this side more filters, apparently a lot of them, and you can see all the air mounted components onto Teflon standoffs. Quite amazing. So I believe all these transistors are, yes, they are actually socketed. Interesting. So I can remove one of them. Maybe we have 78 as a dead code here and 81 here. Gold leg transistors, by the way. So a bunch of them. It is interesting to see how they will use sockets in this thing. Torotel precision resistor, here the red thing. One more transformer or filter assembly. And on this side there is apparently a panel that can be opened. So I will try to open it for you. We will find out what we have, probably more of the exact same stuff. not sure, maybe this screws also. I see at least a big hinge here. Will it come out of the way? Ah, yes. Okay. Exactly the same kind of components. A lot of tantalum capacitors apparently. And you can see here the inside of this assembly. Really nice. For some reason, some transistors here were not mounted in sockets, but they are dead bug mounted. Extensive use of zip ties also. And I have no idea exactly of what it does. It is the instrumentation unit, so does some signal processing probably. Very complex analog device. You can see dual audio transformer, this one is called, with glass insulated pass-through, some little trimmers here, a whole bunch of trimmers here. So interesting. I cannot imagine the amount of time needed to assemble such a device. Really quite extensive in hours of labor. Everything done by hand, just insane. So we go to the next module. So this module is called the VOR LOC receiver. Okay. So you can see the same construction type with air mounted parts, a lot of them. But here we have apparently some, that must be some kind of an active filter, because you have coils and transformer, transistor and coil and transistor and such. We have here a completely shielded module, will not be able to open the, excuse me, like this. Again a filter bandpass with maximum altitude of 55,000 feet. With a lot of information actually about this thing. Quite interesting, and beautiful golden cans here with nothing written, but I will try at least to undo for you the covers. We have several of them on these units, so we have one here. You can see the remains of quality control sticker, and we have here two crystals in this can with a huge dog bone. It is called silver tantalum, no, silver mica capacitor. So these are expensive, and it is the very nice Sangamo brand. So nice thing. The other cover here. Quite something actually to unscrew. Wow. Okay, and we are left with a whole bunch of the same thing. This time a lot of crystals. You can see the frequencies more or less. 9345 MHz, 9045 MHz, 8845, or maybe we have a dot between them. Okay, so it reminds me some other pieces of Avionics I took apart previously, in particular Soviet ones actually, with a lot of crystals like this. Okay, on the other side, so the connector here to the module, we have two more covers we can undo. I have a feeling this one will be the same. Wow. Yes, exactly the same thing. And in here I can see you see them, it is actually coils. So here we have 5 little screws, quite annoying. What is going on with this camera today? I need to find another one, maybe. Okay, we have a set of cavities with coils. As you can see, everything handmade. Some kind of pass-through capacitors here. A little module here with, it is quite surprising. Can you notice the anomaly in this thing? I'll leave you a few seconds. Yes, we have here a plastic transistor. It is not something I was expecting at all. So we will try to find out if it is a repair or if it is original. As we know, we had several modifications, maybe. It is one of the modifications or repair. So if I lift this module, it is a gold legs transistor at least. So nice quality of a transistor. But I do not see obvious signs of a rework. Seems quite clean. Not maybe this is reworked, but the plastic transistor I am not sure. It is really hard to tell, but it is for sure a weird find in such a piece of equipment where everything is top notch, and here they did use the plastic one. QN1509 maybe. Interesting. Siemens capacitor. This was not expected also. Look at this. German brand capacitor into a US piece of equipment where apparently everything else is typically American. Allen Bradley trimmer here. Sangamo capacitors everywhere. The transistors are Raytheon on Motorola, I believe. So quite a fun find, in fact. RCA, yes, everything American except a Siemens capacitor. Okay, so here we have these two modules, but they are completely shaded, obviously. Bolted here from the back, you can see the golden screws. Okay, quite fun. So we will go now to the last module. So last module, this one has something special. You can see a big assembly with synchro resolvers. Apart from this, the exact same construction than before with a dual audio transformer with a lot of air-mounted capacitors in particular here. Big unused spot at the front. And on this side, the panels that will flip open with very similar to the previous one we did see. But here there is something special. It is this. Will you see it? Excuse me for the weird light today. This part. Here a black cylinder with a bunch of wires poking out of it, mounted into a clamp like a transistor. Quite weird, probably a little transformer, something like this. Oh, there is actually a second one here. Okay, interesting. One more dual audio transformer here. Big dead bug mounted transistors with long golden legs. Okay, but the most interesting part here for sure will be this module. that I need to undo for you. Okay, we are done. By the way, so this module is the automatic VOR instrumentation unit. The other one was the manual VOR instrumentation unit. So we have this thing with Clifton synchro resolver, synchro differential, and motor tachometer by Cedar Engineering. So some kind of super complicated servo loop apparently. This driven by this motor. Interesting. Dead code of 78 everywhere. And we have this cover, which will probably reveal just a bunch of gears. So very nice unit. This Collins module was a little bit, it was 30 euros on eBay, this one. So I paid less for the previous ones, but they are quite rare ways to find. Okay, so nice bridge here with super tiny ball bearings. And everything is completely stuck in place. So maybe this motor has a clutch or a brake or something like this included. It will not move at all. No backlash features or anti-backlash features in the gears here. But quite nice anyways. Okay. So, nice little assembly. So I will put this back together and reassemble the thing. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.